Hello and welcome to another video. Let's look at how on earth you get the sounds out of Aphex Twin's Samplebrain application into your DAW, into your host, into Logic or your external sampler or whatever you want to do. Let's just get the files into a file system somewhere so you can do whatever you want with them. There's two ways to do that. One is built into Samplebrain. It's the record button here, and it has an interesting quirk. So let's just click it, see what happens. Click the button, and it gives you an opportunity to specify where you want the output. Now I'm going to put it in my Samplebrain folder here, an output folder there, and I'm just going to delete those because they'll get in the way. Let's name it Over the Rainbow and Rave Vox, because that's what it is. And as soon as I hit save, the sound, it starts. So right now the files are being written to that folder structure here. These are the files. And if you are in not stereo mode, which is what we are in now, we're in a mono mode, both of the files will be exactly the same. So you can dump either file into your host or whatever, and or your sampler, and they'll be exactly the same. The difference starts when you hit the stereo mode button. As soon as you hit stereo mode, it analyzes the engine, this crazy engine is looking at both sides of the stereo bit of this file and associating it with another bit of noise from the brain, and so you get a stereo file. It's crazy. Who knows how it's doing it? But you get a stereo output. As you can hear, it's very, very wide. And right now that means that these files are now not the same because we've just continued to stream to them. These files are now not the same. We can see them growing. Look, we can see these numbers increasing here. That's the file size growing. And like I say, right now the files are not the same. So let's... Oh, you can hear. That's the source file. That's a bit glitchy, but that's my system. So if we stop that and have a look at these two files, let's drag them into the two tracks here and have a quick look at them. So up to a point, they're exactly the same. We've got them panned hard left and right here so you can see them. Let's unmute that. And where is it? It's up here somewhere. Here we go. Wideness. Now the files are different. So if you use this method to create a stereo output file, what you'll need to do is combine them in your sample editor program or your host, like I'm doing in Logic. I could, if I wanted to use this stereo file, output the sum of this stack here, and that will be my stereo file that I can then dump into my sampler or whatever I want to dump it in. Right, so that's method one, is using Samplebrain's record button. Now the other method is using the internal routing potential of the operating system. So on macOS here, I have a program called Black Hole, and that is a free internal kind of creating wires between programs kind of application. So I can create like a virtual cable coming out of here that I can then wire into another application that is ignored by the operating system. All the sounds still come out normally, everything else goes to system output, but this program, Samplebrain, I'm now directing the output to Black Hole 2 channel, and that's what the kind of internal routing name is. Now what I'm going to do is look at Logic. I'm going to make sure that I've got Black Hole 2 channel going here into the input device, and that my input here is set to input 1 and 2, and it's stereo because we know we're going to get stereo file. And we can test it because we can have input monitoring on. Let's just see. Definitely coming out. And let's just hit record. And now the output is hitting Logic. It's very loud. Let's just turn the normalization down a bit. And you can kind of hear the source material here. There's a land that I love. Doing a mental job of reconstructing one of my friends singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. just about hear the madness through the glitch, can't you? Wonderful. So that's how you record basically directly into your DAW. On Mac, I use Samplebrain. On Mac, I use Black Hole. And if there's an equivalent for Windows, which I'm not sure of right now, I will put a link in the description of this video, and you can use that to do your internal routing. It shouldn't be too difficult. Each program that you do audio with should have the ability to define a sound card input and output, and that's where you sort of set up the Black Hole stuff. Okay, I think I've covered it all there. Go off and record your inputs and outputs and mangle everything up to incomprehensible levels of madness and then regurgitate it again. Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day.